This is One Sentence News, a daily podcast featuring 3 news stories with a sentence-long summary and 1 sentence of context apiece. I'm Colin Wright. It's Wednesday, November 10th, 2021. Let's talk about the news. From the Associated Press, tensions rise in migrant standoff at Poland-Belarus border. Thousands of migrants from primarily African and Middle Eastern countries are camped out on the Belarusian side of the Belarusian-Polish border after months of diplomatic conflict between these two nations, related in part to this surge in migration. Polish officials have ordered forces to the border and accused the Belarusian government of attempting a hybrid attack on Poland, and by association, the European Union, in retaliation for sanctions imposed on Belarusian higher-ups after they violently crushed recent protests. Their alleged intention being to flood their neighbors with more immigrants than they can handle. The Belarusian government denies this, but they've reportedly been leading migrants from the east toward the borders of Poland, Lithuania, and Latvia, and in some cases, helping migrants cross those borders into the EU illegally. From Reuters, Saudi gets first major arms deal under Biden with air-to-air missiles. The U.S. State Department has approved a major arms deal with Saudi Arabia, which involves the sale of 280 air-to-air missiles valued at $650 million. This is the first major arms deal with Saudi Arabia under the Biden administration, and it's raising eyebrows in some circles because it seems to conflict with Biden's pledge not to sell the Saudis weapons they can use in their ongoing war with Yemen. Congress still has to approve the sale, but a State Department spokesperson has justified it by saying it's defensive technology and thus cannot be used to commit human rights abuses. And from Axios, crisis brews in Bosnia as U.S. and EU stand by. International organizations in Bosnia are ringing alarm bells over the possibility the region could return to physical conflict as a consequence of secession-related announcements and efforts by the Serbian member of the country's presidency. There's a lot of history underpinning this story, but the short version is the Bosnian War that ended in 1995 was brought to a close with an agreement that created 2 regional entities managed by a central national entity, and that national entity is run by a tripartite presidency. One member of that presidential trio, a Bosnian Serb who has often been called a strongman leader, has threatened to withdraw the country's Bosnian Serb entity from national institutions, including things like paying taxes to the national government and honoring the judicial system. Bosnian leaders have said there will be no return to fighting, but these threats are being taken seriously, even if they have no legal basis, and he may just be bloviating to rile up his base, as he's been known to do in the past. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and/or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com, and you can support this and other related projects, like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts at understandery.com.